Hello scholars, welcome. Mr. Hinkle here. Our discussion on resources continues to renewable energy resources. So our Earth is a big rock. That rock has minerals. Minerals create non-metallic and metallic resources, and our Earth also contains energy resources. Now these energy resources can be renewable and non-renewable. Renewable means that they replenish within timescales that human beings can observe. Non-renewable means that they are finite in supply, and as long as humans are around, we will never get them back. For renewable resources, when it comes to energy, there are 5 main sources there. So our objective is to provide an understanding of the various renewable resources, including solar, wind, geothermal, and biomass. Let's get into it. Solar energy. Energy from the sun. It's great. Every day I wake up and I feel confident that the sun is going to be shining. It's not just going to burn out. In fact, it's got a long time left. Long time. Another 5 billion years or so until the sun burns out. Who knows where we'll be? An interplanetary species long forgotten about by the universe? I don't know. But harnessing energy from the sun through solar panels, which are photovoltaic cells, can get the direct energy. And then that direct current is transferred to AC current that we can use to charge our phones, charge our computers, power our world. Now, the problem here is conversion. The technology for converting solar energy into electrical energy still has room to grow. Every day, the sun shines enough solar energy to power our whole world for 25 years. But how do we capture that solar energy? We don't have the technology yet. And we need mineral resources that are within the solar panels in order to power or collect that energy from the sun. Mineral resources are non-renewable. So we can see that it's not just there's energy from the sun, but there's energy from the sun and the ability to capture it. There's also solar thermal power plants where we can concentrate solar energy. There's solar heating in various ways that you can heat water on the top of your roof and then pipe that through your house. So solar is a great renewable source of energy. Solar or energy from the sun. Very cool. Continuing on. Wind energy. So wind energy captures the kinetic energy of wind that spins a turbine to generate electricity. The wind is always going to blow. It's not always going to blow strongly, and sometimes it will be intermittent, but as long as the Earth spins and it orbits around the sun, there will be unequal heating of the Earth's surface. It's hot at the equator, cold at the poles, and that will create differences in temperature, leading to differences in pressure, which will generate wind, because wind always blows from high pressure to low pressure. A little bit of atmospheric science in there. What the heck? Why not? So we can create wind farms that capture wind energy. The wind energy happens from the wind blowing, spinning these turbines. And this is the process for a lot of mechanical energy to convert to electrical energy. Spin a turbine, that turbine generates electricity. Wind farms can be onshore, offshore, meaning we can have them on land or locate them out in the ocean. Wind, viable. Doesn't look very pretty on the landscape. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, and it does raise some environmental concerns for wildlife, but wind is replenishable. It is a renewable resource, and that is a pretty big plus. Hydropower. generating electricity by storing water behind a dam and then allowing that water to release to spin turbines, to transfer mechanical energy into electrical energy. I think you're starting to get it, right? Hydropower isn't limited to dams, but you can also have a hydropower site just built into the river. It's called run of the river. You can have hydropower along coastlines that will utilize the incoming tide and the receding tide. And then also hydropower that captures the energy of waves that are crashing along the shore. Innovative and replenishable. Remember, our energy resources today are all renewable energy resources. Geothermal. This is Earth's internal heat. So, the center of the Earth is hot, and there are certain areas where Earth's heat makes its way up to the surface. Iceland is an island in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, built right upon the mid-ocean ridge system. It's on a divergent boundary, which is really cool and awesome, but that also means it's very geothermally active. That's why there's hot springs everywhere. And they utilize these hot springs, the superheated water that is near the surface, to generate steam that powers a turbine that transfers mechanical energy to electrical energy. I'm sounding like a broken record. Generating electricity. Very cool. Now, this one's limited by where there is Earth's internal heat, not usually away from plate tectonic boundaries, but near plate tectonic boundaries. And so where this is available, it is a very awesome supply of renewable energy because Earth's internal heat is not going away anytime soon. Biomass. So biomass is basically using organic material, bio, in order to generate heat and create fuel. We can combust, burn the material such as wood, crop residues, or animal manure to release heat to get the energy. So one way, right, of getting heat energy is you build a fire and you warm up. Ooh, that's nice. We can use biomass to create gas and fuel. Biodiesel is available at the gas station. Not all of them, but some of them, right? This is where you convert the biomass into liquid fuels like ethanol to use as biodiesel for transportation. Awesome. Biomass. Replenishable and renewable. So some advantages. These are environmentally friendly. There's not a lot of greenhouse gases that are produced or air pollution or environmental degradation. This is one reason why renewable or alternative sources of energy, because they're alternative from fossil fuels, the non-renewable, are favorable in the face of the climate crisis, where we have massive amounts of greenhouse gases being input into the atmosphere, raising Earth's temperature. Renewable resources are just that. They're renewable, so they're replenished and sustainable over the long term. The sun will keep shining, the wind will keep blowing, the water will keep falling, the earth will stay hot, and plants will keep growing. If this stops happening, we stop happening. So, renewable energy is dependable that it will replenish itself. And the more we use renewables, the less dependent on fossil fuels we are for the aforementioned environmental degradation that they can cause. Some challenges is that our energy storage systems are not, the technology isn't available to capture and to store and hold all of these energy resources. Batteries. Okay, so we're going to collect all this energy. What do we do with it? Just have giant batteries everywhere? Well, what do we need for giant batteries? We need a bunch of lithium. Where do we get lithium from? The earth? Is there enough lithium to go around? Can we make it more efficient? So there's a storage issue and an intermittency. It only shines the sun half the day. In the northern hemisphere, the further north you go, smaller amounts, so on and so forth. Land use and aesthetics. I mentioned this with wind farms. If we're turning land into wind farms, basically there is environmental impacts on the wildlife, that habitat in that area. The cost. This is the big one, right? It's all about that money. The cost of these is much higher than the current infrastructure for fossil fuels. So at the end of the day, if you could pay $5 for something or $20, what are you going to pay? Ooh, we went ethical. Well, if it was equal, you pay 5. But what if you pay 5 and the world gets destroyed and you pay 20 and the world saves? That's an extreme example, but you might still pay 5 unless you're in a position or you care enough, which is why I really want to share with you and teach students to love our earth, to care for our environment, and to make decisions through that lens. So let's bring it to our conclusion. Understanding the technologies and applications with renewable energy is important because they are not as widespread. We are currently oil dependent, fossil fuel dependent, and in order to shift the balance for a diversified energy portfolio, it will take some investment, it will take some belief, and it will take some care in that direction. Now, fossil fuels are great. They've had their place. They've helped us get and achieve the society that we have today. But as the society who knows so much, who's understanding how this Earth system works, and has options between renewable and non-renewable, it is important that we make these intelligent, conscious decisions for how we get our energy moving forth. Thank you so much. I'll see you again.